Right now, today, you may be hurting your dog, not because you're careless, not because you're cruel, but because you love them. Every time you rush to comfort them when they're scared, every time you use that soft, worried voice, every time you refuse to leave because you can't stand the thought of them being alone. You thought that was love, but your dog's brain has been reading every single one of those moments completely differently. And the gap between what you meant and what they felt may be wider than you ever imagined. Stay with me. Because what comes next will change the way you see your dog forever. If you've ever looked at your dog and thought, I just want them to be happy, hey, this channel was made for you. Every week, we go beneath the surface of dog behavior, not the basic stuff, not sit, stay, roll over. We talk about what's actually happening inside your dog's mind, the signals they're sending that most owners never learn to read, the moments that feel ordinary but mean everything to them. And today, we're going deep. We're going to walk through 6 things that loving owners do every single day, that their dogs experience in ways they never intended. Each point builds on the last. The final one is the one most people never hear. And when you reach it, you'll understand your dog in a way that most owners never do. Before we go further, if you care about the dog sleeping next to you right now, hit subscribe, because this is exactly the kind of conversation we have here every single week. Now, let's start with something that happened in millions of homes last night. Point 1. When you hug your dog. During a thunderstorm, you're not calming them, you're confirming their fear. Last night, a storm rolled in. Your dog started shaking, pressing against your legs, eyes wide, ears flat against their head. And you did what any loving owner would do. You pulled them close, you held them tight. You stroked their fur and whispered, "It's okay, you're safe, I've got you." Here's what you thought was happening. Comfort, safety, love. Here's what was actually happening inside your dog's brain. The moment your dog's body went into fear, their stress system activated, cortisol spiked, heart rate climbed. Every sense sharpened, scanning for danger. And in that exact moment, they looked to you for one thing, a signal about whether the threat was real. And you gave them one. Your arms tightening around them, your voice dropping into that low, careful, worried tone. Your body leaning in because something was wrong. To you, that was comfort. To your dog's nervous system, that was confirmation. Yes, this is dangerous. My human is scared too. What most people don't realize is that dogs are not comforted by emotional intensity the way humans are. They're calmed by stillness, by a leader who looks at the storm and doesn't flinch. So what should you do instead? Don't pull away. Don't ignore them. But change your energy completely. Sit down. Breathe slowly. Let your body say what your words never could. I've seen this before. It's nothing. Watch me. Your calm is the most powerful thing you can give them, not your worry dressed up as love. And if that one surprised you, the next point is going to hit even harder, because it's about something you do with your voice every single day. Point 2, the way you talk to your dog when they're anxious is making them more anxious. Think about the last time your dog was nervous. Maybe it was at the vet. Maybe it was when a stranger walked too close. Maybe it was just a sound outside the window that made them freeze. And you said something like, "Hey, it's okay. You're all right, baby. Shh, it's okay, it's okay." That voice, soft, drawn out, slightly high-pitched, filled with so much love it almost aches. You meant every word of it. But here's the truth. Your dog wasn't listening to your words. They don't understand "it's okay." What they understand is tone, rhythm, emotional frequency. And that slow, careful, overly gentle voice you used? To a dog's nervous system, it doesn't sound like reassurance. It sounds like confirmation that something is worth being careful about. Think about it this way. If you walked into a room and a friend looked at you with wide eyes and whispered, "Hey, just stay calm. Everything is fine." Would you feel calm? Or would every hair on your body stand up? Your dog feels exactly that. Research in animal behavior has shown that dogs are extraordinarily sensitive to microchanges in human vocal tone. They detect tension in your voice before you even realize it's there. And when your tone shifts into that worried, overly soothing register, their brain doesn't hear safe. It hears alert. So what do you do instead? Use a normal voice, a grounded voice, the same tone you'd use telling someone what you had for lunch. Calm, unremarkable, unbothered. Not because you're pretending, but because your steadiness is the message. Your dog doesn't need you to feel their fear with them. They need you to show them what the other side of fear looks like. And that brings us to something even more uncomfortable. Because the next point isn't about what you say or how you say it. It's about what happens when you're not there at all. Point 3, you never leave, and that's exactly the problem. You tell yourself it's because you love them. You rearrange your schedule, you cut trips short, you feel guilty every time you reach for your keys. And when you do leave, You make it an event. Long goodbyes. Extra cuddles. That voice again. Mommy will be back soon, okay? Be good. I love you so much. And when you come home, the reunion is enormous, like you've returned from war. It feels like devotion. It looks like devotion. But what your dog is actually learning every single day is this. The world is only safe when my human is here. And when they leave, something is wrong. Here's what the science tells us. Dogs are not born afraid of being alone. It is a learned response. And in most cases, it is learned gradually, quietly, through thousands of small moments where the owner unknowingly taught their dog that solitude equals danger. Every elaborate goodbye teaches them departure is dramatic, departure is painful, departure is something to panic about. Every enormous reunion teaches them your return is the greatest relief in the world, which means your absence was unbearable. After years of global lockdowns, researchers began documenting a surge in separation anxiety cases worldwide. Dogs, who had spent months with their owners, present every hour of every day, suddenly couldn't cope when life returned to normal. They hadn't been neglected. They had been loved, constantly, without pause, and that constant presence had quietly stolen something from them, the ability to exist without you. So what do? Start small, leave for 5 minutes, come back, no drama in either direction, no tearful goodbye, no explosive reunion, just you left, you came back, it was nothing. Because that's what you want them to believe, that your absence is nothing, temporary, unremarkable. Practice the calm return before your dog ever needs to believe it. Because a dog who can be alone is a dog who is truly free, and a dog who cannot is a dog carrying a weight their owner placed there, with love, without knowing. Keep watching. Because the next point is about something even more subtle. Something you do because you want to protect them, but the effect it has on your dog is the opposite of protection. Point 4. Every time you step in to protect them, you're telling them they can't handle the world. You see another dog approaching on the sidewalk. Your dog stiffens slightly. You feel it through the leash, and before anything happens, you step in front, you shorten the leash, you scoop them up. You say, sorry, they're a little nervous to the stranger passing by. You steer away. You protect. It feels instinctive. It feels right. But in that exact moment, your dog learned something. Not that they were safe, that they were incapable. Here's what's actually happening beneath the surface. Dogs read their owner's body language with extraordinary precision. The moment you tensed on that leash, they felt it. The moment you stepped forward, they read it. The moment your breathing changed, they registered it. And your dog, who was simply assessing the situation, suddenly received a flood of signals that said, this is beyond you. I have to handle this. You cannot manage this alone. Over time, that message accumulates. Every rescued moment, every intercepted interaction. Every time you decided the world was too much for them, your dog filed it away, and slowly, quietly, they stopped trying to figure things out for themselves. Because why would they? You always step in. What most people don't realize is that confidence in dogs is built through experience, through being allowed to approach, assess, and navigate the world in small, manageable doses, not through being shielded from it. So what do you do instead? Breathe first. Loosen the leash. A tight leash communicates tension directly into your dog's body like a live wire. Let them look. Let them assess. Stay neutral. Trust them to read the situation before you decide they can't. Your dog doesn't need a bodyguard. They need a calm presence standing beside them, not in front of them, saying without words, I'm here, but you've got this. Because the dog who is always rescued never learns that they are capable of being brave. And bravery, real bravery, is something a dog can only discover for themselves. But here's where it gets deeper. Because everything we've talked about so far, the hugging, the voice, the goodbyes, the rescuing, it all traces back to something happening inside you. Something your dog has been detecting this entire time. And the next point is going to make that impossible to ignore. Point 5. Your dog has been feeling your anxiety this whole time, literally. Here's something most owners never consider. You walk into the room after a terrible day at work. You haven't said a word. You haven't done anything. You simply walked in, sat down, and stared at the wall. And your dog, who was sleeping peacefully on the other side of the room, got up, walked over, and pressed their body against yours. You thought, they just love me. But something far more precise was happening. Your dog smelled you change. This is not poetry, this is biology. When humans experience stress, anxiety, or emotional pain, our bodies release cortisol, and cortisol has a scent that dogs, with a nose roughly 100,000 times more sensitive than ours, detect instantly, accurately, and completely involuntarily. They are not choosing to notice your stress. They simply cannot not notice it. Research published in scientific journals has demonstrated that dogs exposed consistently to anxious owners begin showing measurable behavioral changes themselves: increased vigilance, reduced ability to settle, heightened reactivity to environmental triggers. They are not reacting to the world around them. They are reacting to the emotional world inside you. Your anxiety becomes their anxiety, not metaphorically, chemically, neurologically, in real time. And here is where it becomes truly uncomfortable. Every owner we've talked about in this video, the one who hugs too tight, who uses the worried voice, who never leaves, who always steps in, that owner is not just sending behavioral signals. They are sending a continuous biochemical broadcast that their dog receives 24 hours a day. Your nervous system and your dog's nervous system are in constant conversation. The question is, what are you saying? So what do you do? You cannot fake calm. Dogs see through performance instantly. What you can do is build it. Real stillness, real regulation, real groundedness. Through your own breath, your own body, your own daily practice of being someone your dog can actually rest beside. Because your dog is not just living in your home. They are living inside your emotional atmosphere every single day. And once you understand that, the final point will feel like the piece that makes everything else make sense. Because it redefines something you thought you already knew. It redefines what love actually looks like to them. Point 6. Your dog doesn't need you to love them more. They need you to become someone they can finally rest with. We need to talk about what love actually means to a dog, not what it means to you, not what it looks like in the way you were raised to show it, not what it feels like when you bury your face in their fur at the end of a long day, what it means to them. Because here's the truth that sits beneath everything we've talked about today. Your dog is not looking for someone to love them intensely. They are looking for someone to make them feel safe consistently. Those are not the same thing. Intensity, the rushing in, the holding tight, the never leaving, the constant worried watching. Intensity is a human language. It is how people show devotion. It is how we were taught that love looks. But dogs did not evolve in that language. Dogs evolved reading stillness, reading breath, reading posture, reading the quality of silence in a room. And what they have always been searching for in every owner in every home across thousands of years of living beside human beings is not passion. It is a calm place to land. Think about the moments your dog has been most at peace, not the exciting moments, not the reunion at the door or the treat in your hand, the quiet ones. When you were simply sitting, reading, breathing slowly, not needing anything from them, not performing love, just existing steadily. And they came and lay down beside you, not because of what you did, because of what you were in that moment. That is what your dog has been searching for every single day. A person whose presence feels like ground beneath their feet, solid, predictable, unshakable. Not a person who loves them desperately, but a person who loves them calmly. The research is clear on this. Dogs form their most secure attachments not with owners who are the most emotionally expressive, but with owners who are the most emotionally consistent, who respond the same way on hard days as on easy ones, who do not transfer their inner weather onto the animal beside them. That is the dog who settles deeply, sleeps without worry, moves through the world with confidence, because they have something most dogs never get, a human who has become a safe place. So ask yourself, not whether you love your dog enough, you clearly do. Ask yourself something harder. When your dog looks at you, do they see someone they can finally rest with? Because that is the one thing they have been waiting for. Not more love, more stillness, more groundedness, more you, at your most calm, your most present, your most steady. That is what your dog has been trying to tell you every single day. You came into this video thinking you knew how to love your dog, and you do. But now you know something more, something quieter, something that changes the texture of every ordinary moment you share with them. The hug during the storm, the worried voice in the hallway, the elaborate goodbye at the door, the way you step in front of them on the sidewalk, the anxiety you carry into the room without a single word. Your dog has felt all of it, not as love, as information. And what they have always been waiting for, through every moment of every day they have spent beside you, is not more emotion. It is more you, the steadiest version of you, the most grounded version of you, the version that walks into a room and makes the air feel safe. That is the owner your dog has always needed. And here is what I want you to hold on to after this video ends. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to rewire yourself overnight. You just have to start noticing the voice, the breath, the body, the energy you bring into the space you share with them, because your dog is already watching. They have always been watching. And when you change, even slightly, they will feel it before you say a single word. If this video made you see your dog differently, share it with someone who loves their dog the way you do. Subscribe for more, and go be with your dog right now. Not with more love, with more calm. They've been waiting for it.